Happy Monday, April the 15th, everyone. Meteorologist Hunter here again at Weather on the Go. And in today's weather forecast, we are continuing to monitor a significant severe weather outbreak possible for today and tomorrow on your Tuesday, April the 16th. We'll go over the timing and the details of which you could see severe weather today and tomorrow. And we'll also be looking at some more additional severe weather chances as we go later on through the week. And a strong cold front will be bringing frost and freeze conditions for a prolonged period of time later in the week through the weekend, and early next week we'll be detailing that later on in today's weather forecast. If you are new here to Weather on the Go, make sure to become a subscriber so you guys can stay ahead of all of the weather out there, especially as it is severe weather season, and I can keep you safe throughout the year. Make sure to press the subscribe button down below, and also be sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. So let's go back here to yesterday. We did actually see some severe weather across portions of Pennsylvania and eastern Ohio, with a lot of hail reports here into the greens, but the blues showing those wind reports across portions there of Pennsylvania, especially yesterday. Then as we go to today, let's turn our attention back to the west across the Four Corners region. We have a robust trough that's going to be moving into the plains here today, and this is going to create a more volatile environment as we go through the day today. But that same trough and low pressure system associated with it will be ejecting into the Midwest on Tuesday. This is tomorrow on the 16th of April. So let's first look here at today. There is a significant severe weather event looming for this afternoon and this evening. There is an enhanced risk of severe weather. That's a level 3 out of 5 on the scale across Nebraska here, especially into central and eastern part of Nebraska, getting into northern and central Kansas. But that slight risk of severe weather, that 2 out of 5, extending from South Dakota here all the way down into West Texas. So definitely a large area of severe weather potential. And not to mention the lower Ohio Valley all the way over here toward the Mid-Atlantic. We have a severe weather potential, mainly with the marginal risk, but the slight risk over here into Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. Watching out for that. The main mode of severe weather today with storms will be very large hail, over 2 inches in diameter. That's hen egg size or larger, especially up here into southern South Dakota through Nebraska into Kansas, but also a secondary corridor down into portions of the Red River Valley, down here near southern portions of Oklahoma and northwest Texas later on today. The tornado threat more broad across a broad area here from Texas, Oklahoma, up into Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and into western Iowa. A 5% chance of tornadoes there in the brown, a 2% chance in the darker green. So let's look here at the setup for severe weather. We have a dry line, very sharp dry line here across the western plains. Very classic look here. You have the open Gulf of Mexico moisture moving all the way up here into Nebraska with those 50, 60 degree dew points today. That will yield some stronger instability. This is your CAPE, your convective available potential energy here, around 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram, with the highest values down into the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma. We also have a formidable mid-level jet streak on the base of the trough here from the Texas Panhandle through western Oklahoma and up into Kansas, helping to organize this threat. And also a very robust, very noisy looking low-level jet here all across the plains up to around 60, 65 knots. So that will help to rotate thunderstorms as well. And that's why our significant tornado parameter values are as high as they are. They're peaking near 20 today, folks, especially down here into southwest Oklahoma, into northwest Texas. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But there is a catch. There's a caveat here. There's going to be a surface-based capping inversion, which means we'll have warm surface temperatures, but aloft, we're also going to have a warm layer aloft as well. And that will actually prevent a lot of our thunderstorms from forming and also from becoming overly severe for much of the day today. So let's look at this morning. Yes, the capping inversion is in place, and you can see it because there's nothing happening as of this morning. This afternoon, we're not seeing much happening either. The cap may try to break a little bit more down here near the Red River Valley. We're watching you down toward Lawton and Fort Sill, up there toward Oklahoma City, back into the Vernon and Wichita Wichita Falls region this afternoon. If that breaks, severe weather will be likely. And then you can see this evening, the cap does break in certain areas here, and we'll have discrete supercells. Any one of these storms will be capable of producing tornadoes, possibly a stronger tornado, but also the threat for some extremely large hail over 2 inches in diameter here. I think the large hail threat is going to definitely be a big deal, especially with that very strong elevated mix layer, that dry line, very strong with the dry air. So the dry air aloft, very big hailstones. You got the moist air at the surface. This evening, we'll have to be watching out for that. Then as we go into early Tuesday morning, this is after midnight here, seeing a complex of showers and storms trying to develop up near the low pressure storm track here into Nebraska, into Iowa, South Dakota, and southwest Minnesota, with more isolated, widely scattered activity down here into the eastern plains, into Kansas, Oklahoma there, and into northeast Texas. As we go into Tuesday, this is for tomorrow on April 16th, another enhanced risk of severe weather, 3 out of 5 across Iowa, getting into northeast Missouri and west central Illinois. A large slight risk again, stretching from southern Wisconsin and northern Iowa through Illinois, Missouri there, eastern Kansas, down there into Arkansas. And this does include places like Little Rock, St. Louis, and Chicago as we go into Tuesday. And looking here at the primary threat again, very large hail here, and especially in these hatch marks. That's where hailstones could be 2 inches or larger in diameter. Again, hen egg size or larger, but a more formidable tornado threat developing on Tuesday. The Storm Prediction Center has gone ahead and upgraded to a 10% hatched probability for tornadoes here, which means essentially you have a 10% chance of an EF2 or stronger tornado into portions of the tri-state area here, southeast Iowa, northeast Missouri, and west central Illinois. We have to keep an eye on that, but a larger 2 and 5% shading in the green and brown shaded color respectively across this region, stretching from Madison, Wisconsin, and Chicago down there towards St. Louis and Little Rock as we go through the day on Tuesday. Let's look at Tuesday's setup. Very similar here. The dry line and cold front do catch up here. We do have some warm, moist air out ahead of it. Dew points into the mid-60s all the way up here towards portions of the Illinois-Wisconsin state line into eastern Iowa here near the triple point. You can also see some very decent moderate instability developing around 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram at most up here into the tri-state area, Missouri, Iowa, into Illinois. We also have a very nice mid-level jet streak reaching up into this region across the Illinois Valley on Tuesday, and a very robust, ferocious low-level jet here, folks, around 70 knots in some of these areas, even stronger than the low-level jet that we do have today. So let's look here at the significant tornado parameter values, and they are hitting hard here, up to 12s for tomorrow across the tri-state area. That is why we do have that enhanced risk of severe weather and tornado potential, a 10% hatch risk across northeast Missouri, west central Illinois, and southeast Iowa because of those values hitting up to 12s out of 10. So let's look here at the capping inversion tomorrow and tomorrow night. It's not going to be a problem. Actually, there's not really going to be a cap on the atmosphere on Tuesday. So storms already at the beginning of the day will be readily available to tap into that instability, tap into that wind shear, and we'll already be seeing a nice squall line ongoing across western Iowa here, west of Des Moines, down here toward the St. Joseph and Kansas City, Missouri region as we go into Tuesday morning. Damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes already possible. Afternoon, we have a volatile environment developing downstream here across the Midwest into eastern Iowa, eastern Missouri, into the Illinois Valley. We have a broken line of supercell thunderstorms. Those will be able to rotate as we go through the afternoon, watching out for that strong tornado risk. That squall line will continue to move east Tuesday evening towards the Chicagoland, Milwaukee region, even down here toward portions of Terre Haute, Indiana, down there into Mount Vernon, Illinois, down into the Paducah region. We'll be able to keep an eye on some of those storms, but also what we're not mentioning here is Arkansas. Jonesboro down to Little Rock, some supercell thunderstorms possible down here that we'll have to watch for all three modes of severe weather, tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail into Tuesday evening. As we go into Wednesday, this storm system is still up here into the Midwest, bringing us some nice beneficial rains for Wisconsin, into Minnesota, into Michigan, but also the trailing cold front intercepting some of that instability out ahead of it there as we go into Wednesday. Another severe weather risk setting up, a 2 out of 5, a slight risk here from western Ohio into much of Indiana here, into portions of central and western Kentucky, northwestern Tennessee on Wednesday. And then as we go into Thursday here, we have a snowstorm up to the north. That's the cold air we're watching. We'll talk about that in a minute, but look at that, another trailing, reinforcing cold front there moving south through the Midwest on Thursday, bringing a severe weather risk down here, a 2 out of 5. Again, a slight risk across the southern plains as we go into Thursday, April 18th. Trailing cold front moving through the eastern U.S. on Friday, high pressure building in, very strong Canadian high pressure system building in behind it, and that will be actually usher down some colder temperatures. But here we go on Saturday. Would not be shocked to see another slight or enhanced risk of severe weather down here across the southern plains through the mid-south as we go into Saturday. And Sunday, again, maybe some more severe weather for the southeast. Looking at the rainfall totals here, beneficial rains to go around. We have a lot of drought ongoing, especially up here into Iowa with that extreme drought there and in the northeastern part of the state. That area will see likely 1 to 3 inches worth of rain, most of it coming on Tuesday, and you can see a lot of the heavy rainfall will be falling across the south as well, across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, stretching east through Tennessee, Mississippi, northern Alabama, and Georgia, all the way over here toward the Carolinas and Virginia. So a lot of areas here seeing some very heavy rainfall, but also behind that cold front, temperatures will be on the crash. So let's see here, midweek, colder temperature anomalies up here in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, and all the way up into the northwestern Rockies here into the Montana region. And Wyoming midweek, warmer anomalies out ahead of that cold front, but here it comes late week, colder anomalies, below normal temperature anomalies here across the north and the central plains by late week, by Friday, and then by the weekend, that cold front will be crashing down to the southeast here, and we'll be seeing that all the way down to the Gulf Coast with well below normal temperatures by this upcoming weekend on Saturday, but especially on Sunday as well. Let's look at those morning temperatures. On Friday morning here, frost and freezes will be a big deal. Look at these temperatures crashing to the 30s and 20s up here across the north on Friday morning, on the 19th, on the 20th here, on Saturday morning, much of the same here in the same areas. Then as we go into Sunday morning looks to be the coldest morning here of the period, with a lot of these areas seeing hard freezes up across the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, and the northern high plains back into the Rockies there Sunday morning. And then as we go into Monday morning, hard freezes again across those same areas. So definitely cover up those plants and vegetation as we do go through the long-term period there, because there is a moderate risk of some hazardous temperatures as the growing season is underway across portions of the Ohio Valley, the Midwest here, and the Mid-Atlantic. So again, cover up this sensitive vegetation and plants out there. Frost and freeze will be likely, and these are the areas that I think that the frost and freezes will be likely. If you're into the medium blues, you have a likely chance of a frost or freeze between Friday the 19th and Sunday the 21st, and actually you could extend that even into Monday the 22nd as well. And then the dark blue, you can see that up across here, the high plains into portions of the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and interior New England. So watching out for a very likely chance of frost and freeze up across those areas. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Have multiple ways to receive watches, warnings, whether that's a NOAA weather radio, your smartphone, anything that you can do to receive watches and warnings, because dangerous severe weather is looming today and tomorrow and all throughout the week. It is the heart of the severe weather season, folks. We want you to stay safe out there. An afternoon update video or a live stream will be likely this afternoon, so make sure you are turning on notifications for that. And also follow me on Twitter. That handle, the Twitter and X handle, will be at the bottom of the description. You can follow me there for more weather information. Thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of their Monday out there.